Cindy Clemishire. I know I probably butchered that one.
No,
So
you did great.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Hello, and as you said, my name is Cindy Clemishire. I am here from Oklahoma. I grew up in a small town, Hominy, Oklahoma. And at the age of 12 years old, I was groomed and abused by a predator disguised as a preacher. Robert Morris was a traveling evangelist from Texas at the time and later became the founding pastor of Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas. He and his wife and children stayed in my family's home when he would come to preach at our church, and they quickly became family friends, people that my parents and others in the community trusted. My abuse started on Christmas night, December 25th of 1982. That was the night Robert Morris made the premeditated decision to violate and defile my innocence and purity. I want to be clear with you so you understand exactly what we're talking about when we say the word abuse. This man, trusted by so many as a preacher of God's word, took advantage of a vulnerable child. I remember exactly what I was wearing, my favorite pink pajamas and bloomers with the robe snapped completely up. However, he found a way to get through that, and by Oklahoma standards, it is considered rape by instrumentation, what he did to me on Christmas night. He touched me for many years after that. It continued. The word rape often suggests brutality, but these predators are calculated. They don't just groom the child, they groom the parents and others around them to gain access. The abuse is often subtle, gentle, and not to protect the child, but to keep the child confused and quiet. The first time Robert ever assaulted me, the first thing he said to me was, "You can never tell anyone or it will ruin everything." The abuse and rape continued countless times over the next 4 years until I did finally tell at age 17. Sadly, when I told, it seemed as though Robert was right. I told the truth, and it did seem to ruin at least everything in my world. Friendships ended, marriages of mutual family friends fell apart. My relationships with others changed instantly. And at just 17 years old, I thought it was all my fault. As I began the lifelong journey of dealing with the aftermath of child sexual abuse, my life seemed to attract more shame, because shame often attracts more shame, while Robert attracted more fame. I was in and out of marriages and spent over a decade in counseling and tried to find healing through various churches and seminars. I was searching for understanding, for peace, and for forgiveness. By 2007, 20 years after the abuse ended, I contacted my attorney in hopes to recover some of my counseling expenses. My attorney, who happens to now be the Attorney General of Oklahoma, Gittner Drummond, sent a letter asking for $50,000, just enough to cover the cost of counseling. Robert's attorney responded not with compassion, but with a letter accusing me, a 12-year-old little girl, of pursuing my abuser. They countered with $25,000 as long as I would sign a non-disclosure agreement, which I refused. Had I agreed to that NDA, Robert would have continued to have power over me. Instead, I kept telling people, I kept seeking truth, and I kept healing. Because I refused to sign that NDA in 2007 at the age of 37 years old, on March 12th of 2025, my abuser was indicted by the Oklahoma grand jury on 5 counts of lewd acts with a child. Because I refused to sign that NDA on October 2nd of 2025, Robert Morris pled guilty to all 5 counts and is now sitting behind bars in the Osage County Jail. He will serve 6 months behind bars and the remaining 10-year sentence at home. Because I refused to sign that NDA, I can sit here today at 56 years old, a mom of 3 boys, and a grandmother of 3. It's really 5 because I have a couple of step grandkids too. 3 step kids. And that's what happens when survivors are not silenced. NDAs may be presented as legal formalities, but in cases like mine and Trey's, they are tools that continue the abuse. They protect the abuser and keep victims in shame. They prevent children from being protected and make it harder to stop abuse from happening again. The only way we will ever have a chance at ending child sexual abuse is to tell the truth, to speak it, share it, and expose it. When NDAs are used to silence victims, we're not protecting the victims and their families. We are protecting the people destroying them. Lastly, I'm going to add a little bit to the sentence that I did say in Texas. Anyone who doesn't support Trey's law, waters it down, or prevents it from being passed, or doesn't want to find a loophole to make it retroactive, my question is, who are you trying to protect and why? Thank you.
Thank you.